don't forget about Security Bosses Making the Cut podcast. You know, guys, listen, you got to tune in to Conversations with the Boss. Listen, if you got something you want to hear about, you got something you want to talk about, whatever it is, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. But for the foremost, thank you guys. Thank you for following. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your comments. You guys love the car content, but you got to get into it with the podcast also, because I want to hear what you guys think, and I also want y'all to know who Security Boss is and what I think. So definitely look out for that. More of that to come. I want to speak about to you. I want you to tell me, what can you say to the next generation to come? Because you are a successful woman. I went to college, but I went to trade school also. I did different things because, like I said, I watched a housewife. I watched a serious wife. Your mother was by herself, and she did both things. She was mama and daddy, and tried to maintain both those roles. So you kind of got it both ways, which is a little different. So what would you, and a lot nowadays, more women are like you, because the feminists have come out. They feel as though they're equal to men. They want to be equal to men. I don't want to be equal to no man. I don't want a man living in my house and I'm paying 50% and he paying the other 50. That doesn't make sense to me. I can get a woman to do that. And then you don't have to cook. You don't have to sleep. We don't have to do none of that. So I don't want that. But I hear all the time they be talking about, well, I'm willing to pay 50-50. What is wrong with you? So anyway, don't talk to them kind of women, because I don't do that. Do you hear that? You hear that? Oh,
I hear more young women talking about just the courtship and whether or not they should be paying for dates, whether or not they should be spending money on the guy, and what the expectations are. I think we are very much products of our environment. How we grow up has so much to do with how you interact with men and women. How you're going to be in your marriage. Of course, when I said that I didn't like to be told what to do, that's because I was always told what to do. We lived in a strict situation, and that's the way it goes. You do what you're told to do. Nobody wouldn't need to know what you think about it. Get it done.
That is a big deal.
Whatever you live in your home, in your upbringing, you take that with you.
You do.
Thank God that we move out of our homes where it's imperfect to another probably imperfect situation, but we're exposed to other people who can help us learn the things that we didn't learn at home. I didn't live with a father. I wasn't used to anybody telling me what they thought I needed to be doing. I did see a strong woman raise 5 children, and I didn't see her do that on her back. I saw her do that on her 2 feet planted firmly. And,
so you
I'm grateful
never
for
saw
that.
a man's role in a relationship?
No. Only my mom's brother.
Okay.
And then when we were young, he passed away. But, I don't envy the young women. I do think that, I do understand some of their thoughts, as in, I want to have a career. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to have a career, a marriage, be a wife, and a partner, and a friend, and all those things. I think you can be. I'm not sure that social media and all those places are the places to look for how to be that way, because the problem with that is I lived in a real home with a real woman, with real brothers. And she couldn't edit that. She couldn't show me just the good parts. I saw all of that. And part of this society is that people are able to edit things and show you what they want you to see. And you may not be getting the real deal, raw version of the way things are. And so you enter into a lot of things thinking it's, I'm going to marry him, and the Real Housewives of Orange County, California, New York, and Atlanta, they have it so good, but they cry at night too.
Well, that's why we
all
hear.
that. So it's everybody is living what they know, and they're living how they know to live. Hindsight, as I said, is 20/20. So ladies these days, go to school. There's nothing wrong with men opening the door for you. There's nothing wrong with you opening the door for yourself. I personally am a person who feels like I married a man, and therefore there's certain provisions that he will make because he asked me to be his wife. That doesn't mean I don't contribute to the household. That's not what that means. That means that that as my husband, there are things and responsibilities that I'm comfortable with him assuming, and that I feel like that he should, and I contribute in the ways that he would, that are comfortable for us. You know, I don't even think that nowadays you can fit anything into a box. But I do say that you should be strong, that you should be strong for yourself as well as your husband, because that's going to make you strong for your family and for your children. It'll help you raise good young men and women who can stand on their own. And standing on your own doesn't mean you can't be led and that you can't have a head of household. It just means that you're going to be a stronger contribution to your household.
So let's talk about this being strong. I want to hear more about that because I don't really know what that means. What do you mean? Do you mean strong mentally, strong physically? What is strong to you? And is it actually a real thing? Because I don't really believe it's a real thing because women are a weaker vessel. And it's a lot of things that we can't do and we shouldn't do. And it's just our bill. We're emotional creatures, and it's okay for us to be weaker. It's okay for us to cry. It's okay for us to talk all the time. It's okay for us to be emotional and tell people how we feel. That's how we're designed to do so. When you lose that, you're acting out of your role as a woman. You're becoming something else.
I'm not sure I can fit that all in the same box because I have 4 brothers. Mm-hmm. And boys are emotional creatures.
Oh, I didn't say they wouldn't. They are more emotional.
I don't know. I can't just attribute to the male gender. I just attribute it to the person. By design.
We're not talking, let's go to a major scope of things. Mm-hmm. A majority of people by design, okay? Because I have seen a lot of emotional men. And men do have emotions. When they get out here and fight and shoot people and all that, that's emotion. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying by design, we're the more emotional people, creatures. We are. And that's what we're supposed to do. They're supposed to be stronger, the word you use. They're supposed to be our protectors. We need them for those purposes. They're supposed to provide for us. They're supposed to do all that for us. We're supposed to be chilling at home, taking care of the kids, having them, and not having to worry about what's going on in this big, crazy world.
That is such an ideal... Oh my gosh.
I know it's great. Don't it make you feel like
right now I just wish Julie Andrews would come out.
I love it. But guess what? I love that idea.
It's ideal, but it's not real.
Oh, I don't believe that.
It's not real.
We create our own situations. It's not real
because I lived that.
No, it might not be real for you, but by design it was that we create our own scenarios.
But then you got to live in it.
Well, but then we live in chaos and we live in confusion and we live out of our will and we make our lives difficult where it should be easy. Because especially if you got, now listen, we're not talking about perfection. Mm-hmm. Especially if you got a good man that's willing to be in that role. Right. Okay.
But
you got a good, well, if you don't, it all depends on what your belief system is.
You have to be.
No.
You have to be what you have to be.
No. It all depends on what your belief system is. I don't know. I can't say no. Because you can encourage a situation. You can stand behind. Men want that affirmation. I think if you tell a man who you saying is here that he can be anything, he will on his chest just to be anything.
So will women.
Why would a woman do that? That's a lie. I wouldn't do that.
I would.
No.
If
I don't want to be everything.
Can you tell that to Venus and Serena?
What they do? They play tennis. What's the other thing?
What?
What you mean?
They're heroes.
All they ever wanted was to have babies and husbands.
They do, and they do.
Right.
But guess what? They're out there in the world letting little girls know, you know what?
That they can play
get
tennis.
Out there, you can grand slam.
Definitely.
You can be on top of this world and you don't have to be. And there's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being at home if that's what you want to be. But there's nothing wrong with being on the moon if that's where you want to be.
But listen, I think they're speaking to African American girls because they feel like that's not a place typically for us, is what I think they're doing. But those two girls.
I think that's completely opposite. I think we are. That's exactly where people think we should be.
Where?
Hitting the ball.
I do agree.
Dribbling the ball.
I said that's not where we are typically.
Matter of fact, they think that we are mostly brawns, not brains. I think a lot of people think that, but I think they have definitely picked apart that myth and done it very well. That all they're doing is hitting the ball. These are business women.
No.
And they're married, and they're happily married, and they both. Well, no, just one of them is married. And you know what? I don't get from her that she runs that marriage. When I see them in interviews together, they look like partners. So I think that's good for our women
you just made
to
my
see
point.
that.
You made my point. But you made my point.
But it's both. It's both.
No, she doesn't want to be the alpha woman.
I don't think she does.
Right.
I don't think she does.
I agree with
But I
you.
don't think there's anything wrong with.
Oh, absolutely.
But she's the total. Well, I'm not gonna say the total package because we're not friends. It's not like she's my best friend. And like I said, I get the edited Serena version. But what I am saying is that you are gonna live what you know. And like for me, all I know is that the woman that raised me didn't. She was divorced, and that she raised 5 children, and that it is completely doable to raise them and not be on drugs, to not be on your back, to not have to compromise your integrity and your morals and your beliefs. And that doesn't make you less of a woman. It just makes that whatever was happening that made her feel like we needed to be in a different situation, that she was strong enough to do that.
So I got a question for you.
I think that's fine. And I think it's fine either way. For the women of today, I think it has more to do. It always goes back to you, who you are. If you don't know who you are, first, how can you possibly be in any relationship, friendship, marriage, or otherwise? Once you have to define who you are intellectually, emotionally, all those things, spiritually. All those things are what makes you, and you'll be defining those as you grow, as you get older, as you get into a relationship, all that. I don't think that it sounds easy to put these things in these nice little categories, but the reality of it is that most people don't live in those nice little categories. They live right outside of it, within the bounds of matrimony or not, or within the bounds of matrimony along with abuse or this or that or the other. And they take what they know from where they were raised, they take it to their marriage, and then hopefully while they're married, they are able to say, this is what my parents did, but it's not working for me. Right. Or in between there, as they're in different relationships or going to school or traveling around the world, that they're learning about themselves. Because I just believe the more you know about you, the more successful you'll be in your relationship.
But you do know the situation that your mother went through was not one considered to be normal.
It was absolutely not normal.
And you also
I don't want to say not normal. Well, it's not. It wasn't.
It's not ideal.
It's no.
It's not recommended.
No, it's not.
It's not ideal. It's not recommended. And the question here, you may not be able to answer this. Okay. Was your mother happy?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say
probably don't need to answer that question.
No, I am going to answer.
You think so? You're going to answer for her.
I can because she spoke on it. So now I can speak.
Okay.
I think she was happy because I think that what we left. Just listen. You ask a question. Let me you answer, boss lady.
Okay. Because I can't imagine.
I think without going into too much depth.
Right.
I think that what she was going through, that she was happier outside of that situation.
Right.
And so were we. When in hindsight, as an adult, knowing now what I didn't know then, she had to be happier because we couldn't exist in that. I don't think things fit in these nice little packages. They sound so good, but you know what? Sometimes people are bastards and you have to divorce them. Sometimes you wake up one morning and your husband is dead. Sometimes,
and then at that point,
you come home from work and your house is on fire.
But only at that point.
Every bit of anything that was ideal is not ideal anymore because everything has changed, and you just have to roll with it and go with it. Sometimes somebody hands you some cards, and you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, but at that time, you get another husband.
Maybe.
And you make those decisions, but only at that time are you allowed to do that. Because if he's living, you only supposed to have one living husband.
Tis true unless you're polygamous. Or what's the other thing now?
Polyamorous. It's a bunch of them.
I don't know about it. I'm not knocking you. Live your life, do you, boo.
But the point I'm trying to make is it's all about the decisions that we make.
No.
And it's not? Okay.
No.